Hey everybody, welcome to DadsDen of Pop Culture. Quick board game review today because it's a pretty simple board game, ages 7 to 12. The Fantastic Four board game. This is actually the new Fantastic Four from Marvel Comics and Milton Bradley. This is based on the cartoon that they put out, where you basically replace the Human Torch with Herbie the Robot. And apparently, we're going to see Herbie the Robot coming up in the new Fantastic Four movie that's being released relatively soon. Okay. And you might even notice we have an old price tag up here. Can't really focus in on it probably from that camera standpoint. But it does say up here, Family Mart drug, $1.35. What a bargain this was. So let's take a look at this game. Now, you notice this is just the box top. We do have the instructions in the box top. Always nice. I'm always happy to see that because that means I'm not going to have to go try to buy the instructions somewhere online. Part of the instructions is dedicated to explaining how to put the game together. Like I said, it's a pretty simple game. It's all based on luck. You have a little spinner. That's what controls all the movement. There's really no strategy involved in the game. It is meant for younger kids. I think the 7 to 12 is even a little iffy. The 12-year-olds might not be that excited by this. But what they did to make up for the lack of complexity in the rules is they gave you a really interesting looking board. So let's bring the board in. And the reason it's off right now is because I already put the thing together. So here is the actual board. Move that back a little bit. Move you over to the side. So you see that you have this little structure in the middle. Here's your spinner. We have Herbie the Robot. Now, Herbie literally just fits in nice and simple. These have little tabs. Now, this is, well, sort of important to the game and how it works. So as you can see, here's the start position here. We have these little pawns. And we have these spaces that get you, well, to this point here where you have to stop. Now, this area in here is, what did they call this? The Doom Zone? Dr. Doom's domain, okay? The way the game works is a little different when you move over here, okay? And then it's different again when you get to this point here and you're going through Dr. Doom's lab. So let's take a look. We're not going to play out an entire game. But the first segment, you're spinning. I landed on a 2, so you move your guy 2 spaces. You get the idea. There's another 2. Now, important, if somebody lands on you, they take you back to start. Okay? Once you get into this area here, if you land on a space that's the same color as your pawn, you get another turn. But when you get over to here, and let's go ahead and we'll fast forward a bit, string people along a little bit. When you get over to here, then rather than moving a number of spaces, you have to move to a space that matches what you spun. So you have 1s and 2s and 3s, but you also have odds and evens. So if the red player got to here, I spun a 1, so from here, they can move to a 2 or an odd. Okay, so they move to odd. Yellow player, let's say, gets their turn up here, and they get a 3. Okay, so again, now the 3 needs to go to an odd space, but there is no odd space to go to at the moment, so 3 is out of luck, or yellow is out of luck, I should say. Let's give red another spin. Red needs to move to 3, can't do it. You get the idea. It could be kind of a little pain in the butt through here. He would finally get to move to a 2 if he spun a 2. Okay. The idea, though, as you're moving through here is to get to this spot right here, which you need to spin odd to do so. And when you do, we'll adjust that little treadmill, you wind up on the treadmill. So once somebody is on the treadmill, they're going to be spinning. I got a 2. Now they're going to be moving this little wheel 2 spaces. So 1 and 2. Okay, and you get the idea. So now the pawn has sort of disappeared in here. And this is where it's kind of fun. Again, for little kids, rather than doing a lot of spinning, we'll just start moving the wheel. And eventually, what you're going to do is see the red pawn show up on the other side. Okay, so once they get to the exit, now you're back into the kind of game that you started out with. You're spinning, you're moving spaces, and you're just trying to get to mission complete. So as you can see, this is not a complex game. Little kids could play it. Little kids would probably enjoy it. Older kids probably wouldn't get that much out of the experience. But this little bit is kind of fun. Now, basically, the way it works is there's a little flap right here, okay? So when a pawn gets pushed up against it, it sort of pushes them outwards. Nothing real fancy. So that is the Fantastic Four, I should say, the new Fantastic Four game from Milton Bradley. Very easy to play. Although I do notice right in here, it could stop up a little bit, you know, because, well, basically if somebody ends up here, the only other place you can go is here, which means somebody's got to spin a 2 until this guy can get out of the way and then open it up a little bit. So that could take a little time moving through this area. Probably not that bad, though. You do only have 1, 2s, and 3s here. All right. So let me know in the comments what you think of the Fantastic Four. I will say this. The instructions being in the box top, really nice. I'm always happy to see that with these games. But also, it's really pretty nice graphics-wise. Very fun. You got Dr. Doom on there. There's Herbie the robot. It's a nice-looking little game. I think it's something the kids could have had fun with back in the day on a summer, you know, vacation, kind of boring day. Pulled out the Fantastic Four and watch it. And, of course, if they'd been watching the cartoon, I'm sure they would have been hyped up for it as well. But let me know what you think in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts. Maybe you had this when you were a kid. If you did, let me know how much fun you had playing it. That would be great. If you enjoyed this quick little review, please give it a thumbs up. Maybe think of subscribing to the channel. I do some board game reviews, but I also do role-playing games, and I do comic books, TV shows, movies, the whole gamut of pop culture. Anything that I enjoy and like, I try to share with other folks. If that sounds good to you, you might want to stick around on this channel. So, until next time, God bless everybody. Please be kind to one another. Have a little bit of fun out there. Maybe play a board game with the fam. Good for, you know, getting everybody talking and feeling togetherness. And I will see you again, hopefully soon, in Dad's Den of Pop Culture. Bye-bye.